everyone, this is day 3 of DSA problem solving challenge, and today I have done a problem which is number 31 from leet code. Next permutation. The problem is like this. A permutation of an array of integers is an arrangement of its members into a sequence or linear order. For example, for array 1, 2, 3, the following are the permutations. Means we are having one array and we have to find its permutation. So the permutation is like this: 1 2 3, 1 3 2, 2 1 3, 2 3 1, 3 1 2, 3 2 1. Here the permutation we are creating is greater than its previous ones. So we have to create a permutation which must be greater than its previous number. So the next permutation of an array of integer is the next lexicographically greater permutation, which I have already explained. More formally, if all the permutation of the array are sorted in one container according to their lexicographical order, then the next permutation of that array is the permutation that follows it in sorted container. If we have a permutation which is in decreasing order, means no permutation must be created of that array, so we have to arrange that number in increasing order, means we have to reverse that array. If such arrangement is not possible, the array must be rearranged as the lowest possible order, ascending order. For example, the next permutation 1 2 3 is 1 3 2, means we have swapped the value of 2 with 3. Similar, the next permutation of array 2 3 1 is 3 1 2, means here we swap the value of 2 with 1 and 3. Similarly, we have to create the permutation which must be greater than its previous ones. So moving on to the logical part or logic. So here is the logic. So moving to the logical part, we have one array which is 1 2 3 written lexicographically next. The number of elements in this array is n equals to 3. So the possible combination we must create is n factorial. So we have find the factorial of number 3, which is 3 multiplied 2 into 1, which is 6. The number of possible combination we can create is 6. Here we have one example which is given in the question itself, so no need to explain this. We can solve this question with two possible methods, which is brute force approach and optimal approach. Talking about brute force approach, we have to first find all the possible permutations, and then we have to find the next permutation. This can be found using recursion. So the time complexity of this is big of n factorial n, which is somehow greater, but we have to use optimal approach. So we have optimal approach also. So here we are having space complexity is big of 1 and time complexity of big of n. So let's take an example. Here we have 1 2 3 5 4. So here we move from rightmost to the leftmost, means we have to compare this to this, means we have to compare the elements from the last element itself, means n minus 1. So if we talk about this, the number are in increasing order from the last, but here comes 3 which is smaller than 5, so we have to make changes, means this 3 is pivot element which is smaller than 5. Then we have to arrange this in increasing order from left to right. So first we will rearrange this in increasing order. After that we will swap the value of this with the nearest greater value, means 3 is nearest greater number is 4. So we have to swap this element with this. Here we have rearranged, means we can say that here 1 2 4 3 4 and 5. So here we have rearranged the elements. Now we swap the value of 4 with 3. then we get this. Let's take another example. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. Here elements are increasing order from right to the left. But here comes 3, which is smaller than 6. Then we will arrange these three numbers in increasing order from left to right. After that, we will swap the value with the nearest value of 3. So the nearest value of 3 is 4. So we will swap the value of 4 with 3, which is already done. So the right permutation is this. Moving on to the next. So finding the pivot element. The example we can see follows a pivot. Means if array of I is lesser than array of I plus 1, then that array of I is pivot element, which we have already done. Here we have take one example 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. Let's check over here from the right to the left. All are in decreasing order. But here comes 3, which is smaller than 6. Then we have to arrange this in increasing order. First we will arrange this in increasing order. So the next array will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we will swap the value of 3 with 4. Then it will create this number: 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6. After this we will check from the last to the leftmost places. If we check, this will be in increasing order. This is in increasing order. So the next element in left is 5, which is smaller than 6. Then the pivot element is 5. So we have to swap this with this. Then we get 6, 5. After that, we will check, is this in decreasing order? Yes, the array is in decreasing order. Now we have talking about this. If we check these three elements are as it is same. Now we will check these two elements. Moving from right to the left, this is in decreasing order. 3 is lesser than 6. Then the pivot element is 3. We will swap the value of 6 with 3. Then we get 63. After that, this is in decreasing order. The next we will check is 5 is smaller than 6? Yes, 5 is smaller than 6. Then we will first arrange them in increasing order from left to the right. Talking about the pseudocode, first we will find the pivot element. So we have given pivot equals to -1. We have used one loop, which is for loop. We will start element from n-2, means from the last second element, and I should be greater than equals to 0, and we will decrement the value. First we will check if array of I is less than array of I plus 1, then that array of I should be pivot element, which we have already done, and we break the loop. After that we check if pivot equals to -1. What if all the elements are in decreasing order? Then no permutation must be created. So we will reverse the array. That's it. And here we use one more for loop to find the for finding rightmost element greater than pivot. Means we will find the rightmost, means greater value than pivot element. Then swap that element with the pivot element. Here we have one for loop. I should be start from n-1 from the last element, and I should be greater than pivot element, and we will decrement the value of I. Here we check first condition. If array of I is greater than array of pivot, then we will swap the value of array of I with array of pivot, which we have already done, and breaking the loop. After that, the third step is to, here we have used one while loop, which is used to swap the value of array of I with array of j. Here we have two pointers I and j. I is denoted by pivot and j is starting from n-1. If this condition satisfied, then only we will enter in this loop. Then we will swap the value of array of I with array of j and increment the value of I plus plus and decrement the value of j minus minus. So we have already done with the logic part. Now we will move to the coding part. In coding part, we have used three loops, which is basically two for loop and one while loop. Here we have used a swapping function, which is used to swap two values. So talking about first for loop, which is used to find the pivot element, and what if all the permutation are done. If there is array which is in decreasing order, then no permutation must be created out of that. Then we will have to reverse the array. Then we have second for loop, which is used to swap the value of array of I with array of pivot. Then we have used one while loop, which is used after solving this code we have submitted array of I the accuracy of this code is 100%, and this is the way I have done three problems in 3 days. This is me, Pranjal Vera, signing off. Bye bye.